What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Mikey the Badger Garcia, and this is what he had to say. He said this about Manny Pacquiao. He said he's a much smaller guy. He says that Pacquiao can't complicate things. And he said this. He said, I would love that opportunity to fight Manny. I think styles, make fights. And he's not this tall, lanky fighter that can complicate things like Errol the Truth Spence, said Mikey. He said, just like Spence, Manny Pacquiao is a southpaw as well, but he doesn't necessarily have the imposing physical presence as that of the unified welterweight champ. He said Manny's still a southpaw, but he's a lot smaller in size, so he's shorter in height, doesn't have the reach like some of the other welterweights. Because of all these reasons, he thinks a scrap against Manny Pacquiao would be a stylistic spectacle. In other words, he's saying the way Manny Pacquiao has shorter arms, they're quick, they're fast, but they're shorter. He's small, not a big welterweight. He could beat him, and plus he called him small. Me counterpunching this, I love it. Because it's always the fighters. People really overlook Manny Pacquiao. They really do. Because they look at his size, they look at that smile, they look at this unalarming demeanor, right? They look at him and that's what they say, like, what is this little dude going to do to me, really? Well, a lot of people said that. Keith Thurman said that. Keith Thurman went out and said Manny Pacquiao didn't do a GD thing. And he showed him what he could do in the ring. It was a good fight. Take nothing away from Keith Thurman, but at the end of the day, Keith Thurman was another example fighter that asked that same question. It's not much to this guy. He's small, okay? So it's one of those things where Mikey is looking at it. Now, Mikey is one thing I will give Mikey, Mikey's a very patient fighter. He waits for his openings. He's not a slow fighter. He's very experienced. And what he can do, he does very well. You know what I mean? But he doesn't do one thing very good. He's just very, very poised. Poised and patient. And Mikey does wait and he watches and he observes. So maybe he can find something with this version of Pacquiao. But then again, maybe not, because I hope Mikey doesn't fall for the trick like everyone else is. I know he's comparing, Errol Spence to Manny Pacquiao because Errol Spence was the one that beat him, and he did have long arms. He was big, and he was opposing. He's a much bigger guy than Mikey Garcia. Fair play. And then he thinks, well, maybe Manny Pacquiao won't be, but small things do sometimes come in very small packages, like the 5'6" original, maybe 140 pounder. Okay, that's probably his walking around weight, mind you. Pacquiao is not a big dude. He's Asian. What do you do? Not saying all Asians are small. I'm not doing that. But he is a small dude, and Mikey thinks that he can get him. But Mikey does add this. Mikey remembers the time he sparred with Manny Pacquiao. He say the fight between Pacquiao and Garcia makes sense because of their similar physicalities. Neither of them is a true welterweight. Instead, both of them can be described as enormously overachieving big lightweights. Fighting Pacquiao will only give Mikey a huge payday, but also the opportunity to be a 5-time world weight champion. He say if the two ever squared off in the ring, they can benefit from reminiscing about the time when they sparred together. He said, all right, here we go. Here we go, sparring. I remember sparring with him years ago, Mikey said. I was able to fight in the ways similar to like Morales or Marquez. Even if both of them show interest in fighting each other, the fight couldn't be made before the world comes out of course, of this coronavirus. But he says, and he compares the way he sparred Manny Pacquiao is the ways that Eric Morales or Marquez did. And that's a very good thing because both fighters beat Manny Pacquiao. So I can understand him thinking that he can emulate the same style because he knows what to do. It's a cat and mouse game with Manny Pacquiao. He feints you until you put yourself open, because what happens, he tricks you into going on back on your back foot, throwing your head straight back on the line. And it's so fast you don't even realize you're doing it. Because once he comes at you, you know, a lot of times if you don't know and you're not ready for that speed, you know, you're just trying to either brace or you're trying to, you know, it's a reflect. And because you reflect in that manner, you leave yourself open. Boom. There comes the straight left. So if he was able to do that in sparring, this would be a very interesting fight. But I like the confidence that Mikey Garcia has, because, you know, the thing that did bother him against Errol Spence was the size, to be honest. So if he could, and Manny Pacquiao's not a welterweight anyway, right? Not a true welterweight. You know, this would be an interesting fight because he doesn't respect Manny for size, okay? Now, he didn't say anything about his skill, so I don't want people to look at this video and say, oh, well, he said he can't fight. No, he didn't say any of that. Mikey just said, hey, he's nothing compared to a big, long-armed Errol Spence, because those arms and the size and the height gave him problems getting on the inside. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Mikey Garcia saying that he's a much smaller guy and he wouldn't complicate things and it would be a stylistic spectacle. Tell me what you think, guys. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.